Let's get after it. Welcome back to episode 15 of the CatchMark SportsNet podcast. I'm your host, Zach Swagel.
Morning, Zach.
Joined here by Brent Rath and Scott DeVamp. We're going right back to his old his nocturnal name.
You know, you could get a second Twitter account that was Scott DeVamp, and then you could get another blue check, and you could have
There's no way.
dose blue checks.
They're not giving him 2 blue checks. They might even take his away here pretty quick.
It could be. I don't know.
Stop pulling me down, Zach.
Who's our guest today, Zach?
I have a guest today. Well, we are throwing it back to the roots, the origin story where this all started. There's some topics that I'd like to discuss that we wouldn't be able to get to when we have a guest sitting with us.
Oh Lord.
And that's kind of where we're headed today.
We're in for the longest podcast in the history of podcasts.
No, hour. Max.
You just smiled when you said that.
I'm serious.
All right, let's get to it.
An hour.
What do you got for us, Zach?
Well, I want to talk about how sore I am still from playing basketball. You should have seen Brent walk into work this morning.
I can't even hardly move right now. It's bad. Like, really bad.
I'm with you. Scott's going to join us next week.
I am.
Yeah, you should.
Come on, Scott, commit.
You don't think you should?
When can I get some shots up before that?
That's the whole
That's
point.
the
You
whole
don't get
point.
shots.
You don't get shots.
By the way,
just
you'll be
go in.
too tired that you won't even be able to shoot.
It won't matter.
Depending on whose team I'm on, I'm not going to get any shots, probably, right?
That
We didn't
likely.
So what would be the draft order at these weekend? At
You
these Sunday
shoot
basketball
free
events?
throws. You shoot free throws. Whoever makes it, and they're in. And sometimes they'll have 2 courts going. Sometimes it'll just be 1 full court and 1 half court. I try to get to the half court as soon as I possibly can. It's a little bit easier basketball. And then they run sideways, so they don't run like lengthwise with 3-pointers. So there's no 3-pointers in the shorts. Courts are shorter, thank goodness, because the defibs could have been out last week.
That's a lot of
all I'll
running.
say. It was bad. Towards the end of one game, Sean Knopp, Tug's stepdad, was like, we were at game point, and the other team was going to score, and I was all the way at the other end of the free throw line. And Sean's like, come on, Brent, it's the last point. And I'm like, whew. And I had to make a risk assessment decision at that point. Like, do I run back or do I – which it's not really a run if I'm being completely honest. It's more like a waddle jog kind of. But I still get bored, Scott, once in a while.
Who are the best ballers there?
Brandon Moore.
That works pretty good.
There's some young guys there too. So like all the young high school kids are pretty good. Frank's pretty good.
Tug's pretty good.
Good old Frankie, Tug, Tate.
Pretty good.
They're
all good.
Yeah,
It's good. I mean, it's nice. It's
a good mix.
It's funny to watch how a lot of the older guys work about 10% as hard, or they're 10% as athletic, but they equally contribute.
Yeah, it's just different basketball.
Got the old man's game going.
Yeah. I don't even know if it's it. I mean, I guess you would consider it old man's game, but like it's just a different way to play basketball. I don't know that they teach it anymore. It's a little more physical. It's a little more smart. It's a lot more talking. Like you get a bunch of old guys out there, and the communication's going nonstop. I mean, people are calling out screens. People are moving. People are talking. The young guys just don't seem to do that as much. Like they just get quiet and they all go and try to do their own thing kind of thing. So it's a bit of a case study for our society as we know it. Like,
oh, geez, here we go.
But
another shot at millennials.
It's not a millennial shot. I just think it's a case study.
No, it is. Basketball's different.
I consider you an old guy, by the way, not a young guy. So
I'm definitely closer. At least my play style is definitely closer.
Zach got a board, and Jeff Stein yelled at him and said, "Hey, put that back up." And Zach come back down the court, goes, "He doesn't know I couldn't." He goes, "I used all my energy getting the rebound." He goes, "That was my only option. I was out of options."
If you jump one time, you're out of commission.
Yeah.
We always joke about that. A lot of the old guys do.
Yeah,
like you jump or you make a layup, that's the
I'm
next
not
play
getting
is
back.
done.
The older you get, the more it's to the point where mentally, you think you can do it. Physically is a totally different thing. You're not even in that same
it's
spot.
very true.
It's completely it's a crap show.
It is it's good though. You know, it's good.
No, it's
Everybody's
fun.
out there to have exercise or to get some exercise and have fun. We really do. Like, it's a good time.
Does
Good
Granite
group of
show
guys.
up to these?
I've
games or
been
not?
working on him. He said he used to, and
Yeah.
then there were a couple guys that played that got too serious, and one that tried to take him out on a layup, and he's like, "I'm too old for that." He goes, "I gotta work in the morning." So, I was messing with him last night at practice, asking him like, "Why aren't you there?" And he's kind of like, "I just don't want to get hurt." And I'm like, "Whatever, man." Scott Goodrow showed up, and Scott's a good 5-6 years older, I think, than Dave. So
Does Lindquist show up?
no, Randy'd be great to play with though. Randy can still ball pretty well. He thinks he's a 3-point shooter now, but I think that's because like in high school he just parked him in the post, and then he had to rely on Dave to get him the ball. So like
Expanding his horizons, old age.
But
No, it's nice not having 3-pointers too. It forces people to play inside and pass the
yeah,
ball.
it gets a
and that kinda-
little crowded, but yeah, it's
does.
definitely a different game.
for sure.
But so I got some funny that. So I'm Snapchatting with Zach, and like I was just joking around. The only person I ever Snapchat with is Zach and Frank, and that's because nobody else I know Snapchats. Like, well, a lot of people I do, but nobody wants to Snapchat with me. So we got done. Was it Saturday? Something was going on. We were going back and forth. We were going to go play basketball Saturday morning. That's what it was.
Saturday.
We were going to go play on our own, play like 2s or 3s. The gym wasn't open, even though I reserved it. We couldn't get it. Like, there were literally no gyms to
No
go play.
place
And we
to
drove around a little bit, tried to find something, looked at the house Frank looked at, and then kind of came back. And so I go back home, and I get a Snapchat from Zach. I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" He goes, "We're going swimming." And I said, "That's kind of weird, but where are you going swimming?" Duck Lake. And I'm like, "What? Duck Lake? What do you mean? Is there like some kind of like house on Duck Lake that has a pool that I don't know, indoor pool that I don't know?" "No, we're going in Duck Lake." And I'm like, "What?" And yeah, so then they go on this whole thing. What's the Dutch guy's name? Winbaum or
Winhoff.
Wim Hof. That's what it is. And Frank's like, "Yeah, haven't you ever heard of the Wim Hof technique?"
It's like a breathing
And I'm like,
mechanism.
"Yeah, I've heard of this Dutch guy. He's been on like Discovery, like he can withstand cold, and like he's like set records for barefooted ice marathons and the whole 9 yards." These idiots were legitimately down at Duck Lake swimming on Saturday. I'm gonna let that sink in for a second. Zach has now showed a
God.
picture. Zach, you gotta put it up to the camera.
No.
Zach, come
Can't
on.
do that.
Come on.
It's on social.
Zach, they literally went swimming. That's
Man.
Zach's sumo pose that he's
It
got.
was sweet. That's all you could do.
I thought they were
was
messing
so
with
cool.
me. I legit thought they were messing with me. And then he's showing me pictures of them on the edge of the ice, and I'm like, "What is wrong with you guys?"
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, it was insane. It was the coldest water. I mean, I don't think I've done like polar plunges before, but it's like you're in, you're out, and then there's like a blanket and hot chocolate as soon as you get out. This, we kind of had to walk back. It's like a quarter mile or something. It's not like it's very far, but when you're like drenched and freezing and you have to walk through like a couple feet of snow, like it's a little bit cooler than you'd like it.
Whose idea was this?
Frank, for sure.
Frank's got problems.
It was nuts. It was kind of cool. I
Was
felt
there,
refreshed.
did you experience a little shrinkage or not?
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, yeah. I'd be willing to bet you'd experience some too.
Can you say that?
You mean shrink it?
This just went
Say
a
that
weird. This just
Seinfeld.
went a next on the podcast.
It's shrinkage. It's shrinkage.
Anywho. Jeez.
So I saw Zach's got a list of things that we're supposed to talk about on the board, and so I saw near-death experiences. I have to believe that was a near-death
Yeah,
experience.
you know, I think
a
the reason why
well-timed
I wanted
topic.
to talk about it is because I think that if number one, you weren't super comfortable in the water, and number two, if you weren't careful, you know, you didn't really know what you were doing, you could understand why somebody would like panic and
stay away from the edge of the ice in the
Right.
freezing cold water that could kill you.
But like,
There's like 10 ways you could die in
Yeah,
that situation.
right. I thought I was gonna die after that.
Why not just go down and like you couldn't get to the other side of the road and just jump into the channel and lay down, let it float you around?
No, you probably could. in some spots.
So
there's no good way to get down there.
yeah,
Like, there
that's
really
true
isn't.
because there's snow all
There's
over.
snow
it,
everywhere.
I fell through the ice
Mm-hmm.
once, and it taught me very well. I never want to go through the ice, and I never want
Yeah.
to be in cold water again. It was way too cold. Like I don't know why anybody
It
would,
is super
would
cold.
voluntarily go down and
No,
swim.
you talk about falling through the ice. Like, were you like all
No,
the way up? You weren't-
it was about
like near
chest
drowning or
deep.
anything.
Chest
Okay.
deep. I
You
hit the
just
bottom.
walking.
I wasn't like
Yeah.
I didn't go under it, but like yeah,
It's
we were out
still-
fooling around, and we were down on the lake, and it was like you guys know how the bluffs are. Like it's
Yeah.
300 feet to get back up to the top to where the house sits on the bluff
Yep.
on the Montague side, and I was legitimately like my pants were frozen,
Yeah.
my clothes were frozen and crinkling. Well, by the time I was so cold, it was
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. It took me like probably an hour to warm up from, on Saturday, and I mean I would assume it's the same.
Were your teeth chattering?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was freezing. Yeah.
Did you leave the ar running?
Yes.
I was gonna say
But-
that's one of the things you don't want the car
No,
to be off.
I did. I did. Frank didn't though, so he sat in my car. It was cold.
You guys drove down separate
Yeah.
just in case one didn't make it
we
back.
just met there. Well, Frank, I was like, are you gonna in and out, or are you gonna sit in the? Are you gonna stay in there for 10
15
minutes?
minutes?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's something wrong with that kid, So I wanted to make sure I could dip if I needed to.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
It was
don't wanna
fun.
get stuck in
Like
the-
I said, if it was closer, I'd do it more often. Supposedly,
Yeah,
there's health
like
benefits to it.
West Coast sells ice cubes. You got a tub at your house,
ice
I'm
bath.
sure.
Or we could just fill a tub up with water and set it outside for like a day.
That's true. I would just use ice cubes. Just dump them in there.
Probably. It'd probably work. Anyway, it's kind of crazy.
So you believe in the health benefits. You feel better after
Well,
doing
I just think that like it kind of shocks your body. It's kind of like a cold shower, right? Like you just feel like
it. It's not.
you
no,
just feel
it's
you
not.
just feel
There's
awakened.
There's no way it can be like a
I
cold
feel
shower.
awakened.
A cold shower, the coldest your in-house shower is going to get is the in-house temperature, basically. So you're going to have, 65, 66 degree water. You're talking about water that is on the brink of being frozen. Like, there is,
True.
from a physics perspective, water drains heat way faster than air. So it actually, 32 degree water actually feels and is physically colder than what you would get in 32 degree air. So
it was it's next level.
yeah,
Your feet go numb so fast.
next level. Your feet.
I'm
So
doing it
how
again.
do you feel better? That's what I want to know. How is it
I just
benefiting?
felt, I just felt refreshed.
That's
I felt
a
awakened.
classic. I don't
felt-
know.
that's
I'm
a-
just
no,
trying
that's
to
a millennial
justify
term.
something stupid we did.
I was awakened.
You're awakened.
I was.
That's
What
like
was-
my. That's like my friend in LA who drinks urine, who thinks that it's like.
Okay,
That's
Billy.
not the
Oh,
same.
that's gross, Billy.
Oh my
It's his
God.
chakras.
So
and
I was
his-
watching a
Oh.
YouTube video last night, Billy. Well, he's got me on a kick about a guy talking about it was Joe Rogan, and he had another guy on that does like documentaries. And you have literally lived, and from what I understand, it was all about Miami and how it's like literally the worst city in the entire world when it comes from like they what do you say? They don't produce anything but cocaine. That's basically what they say. Cocaine and real estate. That's all they do. There's nobody working in fact. And I realized I was sitting there watching it, and I'm like, Billy is lived in two of like Miami and Hollywood, right? Like, I mean, that's like you've been to the armpit, buddy. You
Everything
lived in
else
it.
is good
Well,
now.
you talk about near-death experiences. I mean, I'm from where Florida man comes from, so I've lived a few near-death experiences.
Not for me.
Oh my gosh! But
Not for me.
so we were after Zach and I were Snapchatting. Somehow we played basketball. Frank came to basketball, and we got on a couple of funny discussions. And one was these yahoos, like Zach believes that work should not happen during the day. That it's a
Yes.
waste. That it should all happen at night. That's when work should happen. And Frank and I were both of the opinion that he's not completely wrong, but like work should start earlier in the morning and get out earlier in the afternoon to maximize the warm sunlight and weather. But Zach really legitimately thinks everybody should work third shift. So tell me a little bit more about it.
It's kind of, I mean, that's kind of accurate. I don't think that your brain's like, at least my brain isn't fully like active. Like I think my best in the late afternoon to early evening. And I feel like you should work like
What time was it that you went and jumped in the ice cold?
That was like it was about that time, 5 or 6.
Okay, I'm gonna use that as Exhibit A for why you are wrong.
I'm just you get what I'm saying though. In regard to anything, like I feel like my best ideas come like late in the afternoon to like the evening sometime.
What do you think?
What about for somebody who never sleeps? Is there a optimal time?
Man,
Yeah, I mean,
you're just an overproducer. Like vampires are just like. I mean,
another
they're
level.
legit, dude.
But why
Not
wouldn't
legit,
schedules be
but-
flipped? Why wouldn't schedules be flipped?
Yeah.
Why do we sleep at night
Because it's dark.
and then we go to work where we can't do anything during the day?
I feel like I've been pulled into a millennial mind warp right now. That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm in a dream and Kara's gonna wiggle me and wake me up, and I'm gonna be like, because
It's
Zach,
gonna get better too.
oh good lord,
It's gonna get better. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think what do you think the standard business day could be? If you could pick
I've never
any
had
time-
one, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
what it
that's
is.
true. That's probably
yeah,
true.
that is.
And it's just the reality of. I mean, now it's different, and I'm trying to get into that
But do you
normalcy.
Do you feel tired
Right.
in the morning? Like are your mornings like?
No,
I
I'm more
know.
of a morning person. I would say.
Yeah.
As I get older, I can't. I know you guys joke and call me vampire, but I actually do sleep at night now.
Yeah, that's
maybe
good.
not as much as I should, but
Scott seems a little salty about us calling him a vampire.
Yeah, he's salty.
It's a term of endearment, Scott.
He's sad.
it's fine.
We love you, buddy.
No, I just I don't know, I guess I'm more of a morning person. I'm up and ready to go.
Yeah, that's how I am too. Like I would legitimately start my day earlier, and I did for a long time actually. When I was just at Ag Business, I'd get into Coopersville at about 6,
Yeah.
so I could get out early, especially in the summer times, right? Like you can get out and actually enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah.
And like,
I don't have like a hard time getting up or anything. Like it's not. I don't feel like that at all.
but would you agree that like noon to like when it gets dark is the best time of the day, like for doing stuff?
Yeah,
Right. So like
that's what I'm
the
saying.
morning isn't great.
Like you're talking about
'Cause-
non-work stuff.
Yeah, non-work stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
like you can get out in the morning when it's really nice and the sun's out. But even golfing, like my dad never liked to golf early in the morning because there was dew all over the golf course.
Yeah.
Like he didn't want to get his little tootsies wet, right?
Yeah.
Like so, so his tee times are always noon, 1 o'clock, right? And then you play in the afternoon. So like I think that idea that you go in early and you get out somewhere in early afternoon, I think that's better than like I don't want to work all because I like sleeping.
Right.
Like I legit like to sleep. Like
Yeah.
and get a good night's sleep. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could see the argument for like in the wintertime, maybe if you started working at 5 and you stopped working at 1, but like the bottom line is you got to do the work sometime.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, in the work day too. I don't know about you guys, but and maybe this is because it's right after lunch. I think this is for a lot of people. You hit that
yeah.
1:30, 2 o'clock, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
I
Gosh.
struggle. I seriously struggle. Like the same way. Right after lunch, I'm telling you, like at 3 or 4.
just told me that you're
late
like,
afternoon,
oh,
evening.
all right. So you're
I'm
saying
serious.
4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you
like
get your
4
second wind after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's when like I think my clearest for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think though, as I've gotten older, I don't think of the workday in terms of like 9 to 5 or 8 to 4.
Because you guys both work.
No,
around
like
the
I
clock.
but I don't feel overworked. Like I feel like I have good balance. I think it's work flexibility. I think that's one thing that that I agree with your generation too is work flexibility. As long as it doesn't, my mantra is as long as it doesn't impact somebody else.
Right.
If my flexibility makes your job harder, then I'm out.
Mhm.
Right? Like I got like. But overall, I think flexibility is key. Like work when you're the most productive and take time off. Like
Yeah.
I think that's how we operate around here for the
Mhm.
most part.
Yeah, no, we
you know,
do.
So, but yeah.
for sure.
What is I see unpopular opinions on our board.
Yeah.
there,
So
Zach.
this kind of stemmed from a couple different things.
Oh, you got a list.
One, I was thinking about how Scott eats like ice for meals around here. It's kind of crazy.
Kara
I
does
do?
too.
Yeah, Kara
What do you
does
mean I
too.
eat
They
ice
both
for
do.
meals? I just chomp on ice?
Yeah, literally.
I didn't know you had that habit.
Yeah,
either.
he always gets
Yeah.
ice too. You
It's a
you
cup
got
of
ice
ice
and
and
water, and
chomps
then
on it?
and I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
you eat ice before.
Kara
Oh,
has
yeah.
very specific ice. Like she
Oh, I know.
grades her ice.
No,
like
I
and
know,
she
I've
sits
heard
there
it.
and crunches it.
I like the, if
nonstop.
we're talking about ice, I like the Wesco, the crushed, not the.
See,
See, that's what I'm
does
talking
too.
about. It's the same
Uh-huh.
thing.
He's got
I
got
do.
a
Does
level
it-
of ice.
I do.
I need the gourmet ice. Please.
Is all ice created equal? Question
It
mark.
is, it
That's
is
the-
not
that's
for
the-
chomping apparently. Like I don't chomp ice. Our dogs are ice chompers now too. Like Kara
trained
goes
him
and
that
gets
way.
ice out. She's like, "Oops," and drops 2 pieces of ice.
It
and they
is the
fight
crushed
over it.
Red
ice. at
drops
Wesco, right?
cookies,
There's
Kara
the two
drops
different
ice.
kinds of ice: the
Yeah,
cubed and
it's-
the crushed.
Yeah.
I like the crush. It's just a little
I like-
softer on the teeth.
I don't want to suck one up in my straw. I want cubed ice.
So we got 2 ice makers at home aside from our fridge, like that makes ice.
Really?
Yeah, because she likes those ones that are created like the
circle
ice
ones,
makers
yeah.
that we have here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I was laughing because once we got one, she'd just show up with like huge cups of ice and she just crunches them all day. And she says, "Well, at least I'm not eating candy hearts, right?" Like, which touche. I
mean,
I
that's
get
fair.
it. Even
But-
though candy hearts are delicious, but like, she looked it up. So we looked it up, and like, there is a legit like, Scott, I'm sorry, but there's a legit mental
Disorder?
issue disorder that goes along with people who eat ice like that. They're
Kara,
Kara looked,
ice in general, you mean?
yeah, like people who have crave to chomp ice. There's like
oh
a
no,
yeah.
I don't like
oh,
where
yeah.
this is
I'm
going.
gonna look it up now.
Is
Like,
it
you guys keep
technically-
talking.
I don't like where this is going at all.
Is it
No.
technically eating ice, or are you chewing and drinking? I mean,
Well, I mean,
For me, it's both.
if you're using your teeth to bite into something, you're eating. I think you don't bite into water.
Does it have to do
Or
with
milk or any
oral
liquid.
fixation?
I think it's like
Stuff.
I think it's like an anxious habit.
That's
or
what I
like-
mean. Yeah,
I think it's
it's
a
a
lot for a
nervous. It's
lot
a
of
nervous
people.
habit, I think.
But everybody has those. They look.
You have
different.
something where nails, you pick your nails or
There you
bite
go.
your nails.
It's
or
called
whatever.
it's called pagophagia, and it's a condition involving compulsive ice chewing. It is a condition that
There's
causes a
Scott
person
for
to
ya.
compulsively crave and chew ice. It is a form of pica, which is a disorder that causes people to crave and eat items that are not food or have no nutritional value.
Oh
It's
my
like when your dog eats grass.
Yeah.
Scott eats
Well,
grass.
I guess what's
You are a person
guess
who
it
has a
could've been
habit of
worse.
chewing ice occasionally. You should know that this isn't abnormal and it isn't harmful to for your health. However, if you find that you have an intense and sustained urge to constantly chew ice and you do so excessively, you might gain pagophagia. In some cases, this may be indicative of an underlying medical condition like iron deficiency, anemia, or calcium deficiency. That's pretty funny.
Just add it to the list.
Oh, psychiatric disorders like obsessive compulsive disorders, depression, and autism spectrum disorder could be responsible for pagophagia. So I don't know.
What do you think?
I just wonder how do you categorize someone who just
Likes ice?
candy hearts just nonstop buys them all out of Walmart.
Completely insane.
Yeah,
is what
that's
that
another
person.
You've even got me
unpopular
hooked on
opinion.
them
So-
to an extent. I've even
so
been
they're
buying a couple
good. I
boxes.
just don't.
Look,
Which
so,
kind
like,
though? What's
I
the best?
had
though?
I had a bender this weekend. Like I had a bad weekend.
I want to
I-
eat some more. I want to get like.
we can't have them here.
You don't have any here.
No,
That's not true.
it's not true. It is true.
Yeah, but which kind?
It's not true.
I like the sweetheart.
Sweethearts
I'll eat
or
both.
Brock's?
I like both. I'll eat both, but I like the sweethearts better, like the original ones.
Like the branches ones.
But legitimately, I had a
Brock's, no,
sugar
not
hangover.
Brock's.
I had a sugar hangover on Sunday. Like it
You
was.
ate so much- you ate
I
that
ate
many.
an entire bag of candy hearts on Saturday, and I, like Kara's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, she goes, "You have a problem, Brian." And I was like, I know. I have a lot of problems. Well, first
Ca-
off, but
candy hangover.
That's just one of them.
so
but
I
that's-
February. I'm glad they only sell them during like Valentine's Day because then
I'm gonna have to get some more.
Easter candy's coming out already too in some places.
I see. I'm not. I don't. There's no Easter candies that I'm like.
You don't like
oh,
Peeps?
No.
Candy corn?
No, I like candy corn, but I don't have.
I don't like candy that much. I don't think anything's like disgusting. I just don't like. I would never buy candy.
That was Billy, by the way. What are you
candy
disagreeing
corn
with?
is the worst candy known to man.
What about Peeps?
No.
Candy corn is
They're
good.
fun to microwave.
Candy corn are good.
What about the
Microwave.
Robin's eggs?
Gross.
We had some of those. We went to a movie Saturday. We bought
Gross.
some of those to sneak into the theater.
They're all good. It's all good.
They're like
my
Whoppers.
my go-to candies: candy hearts in February, Starburst jelly beans. Legit.
Yeah.
If you've never had Starburst jelly beans,
can
you need
get
to
on
go
board
get
with that.
yourself a bag right now. And then I like that Wallaby licorice, the red licorice, the big old chunk. Like for me, it's a lot of texture. It's like how it cracks in your
Yeah,
mouth,
I
you
can
know.
see
Which
that.
I guess maybe I'm
gonna
I'm
say,
on
you
the
sure you
spectrum
don't?
as well
Yeah.
because like it's not
And
ice,
that's-
it's just sugar. I'm pre-diabetic and I'm like
I
anyways.
can't deal with you guys.
But like, so flipping that, pineapple on pizza, absolutely no way, Zach. So that's on Zach's unpopular opinion list. Pineapple
Yep.
does not belong on pizza. Do you Oh my gosh!
I don't
you're a
care.
Pineapple.
I'm not like we need pineapple on pizza, but I don't. There's not really any.
When
toppings
does
on
it
pizza
stop
where-
becoming pizza? Like, when do you pile stuff on and it becomes
when you remove the cheese and the sauce?
so? But if I didn't have a flat crust and I put barbecue sauce, chicken, and cheese on a
Amazing.
piece of bread, I would call that a barbecue chicken sandwich.
Barbecue chicken pizza.
It's no longer a pizza; it's a sandwich.
You're right. So it's a pizza, but we need to redefine pizza then.
We don't. Pizza didn't need to be redefined.
No, barbecue chicken pizza is amazing.
If I wanted a barbecue chicken sandwich, I'd go get a barbecue chicken.
You haven't had a barbecue chicken pizza, have you?
Yes, I have.
Where?
Bernio's. Touche.
That would be fair. But
Touche.
I'm telling you,
Touche?
barbecue chicken pizza is good.
No, it is good, but it really is just a sandwich that we're calling pizza. Can we be honest?
My 11-year-old requests pineapple on pizza when we order pizza. Like if I go to Domino's or something, she goes, "Can you get the pepperoni and pineapple?" Which that's kind of odd too, because I think a lot of people, if they get pineapple, they're getting ham or something with it.
That's probably true. I don't know if I've ever ordered pineapple.
What's your go-to pizza toppings?
I like everything, like a supreme or deluxe.
Yuck.
I just go with whatever the wife wants to make her happy.
Oh, for
So
goodness
it's
sakes.
pepperoni.
If you're all by yourself and you ordered a pizza, what would you get?
Probably deluxe just because it's easier.
Scott.
I like pepperoni. I like green olives.
I'm pepperoni green.
I like
olives.
ham. I like bacon.
It's weird. Pepperoni and olives is a weird combination. Just so you
Green,
know.
green, no black. I don't like
That's
black
even
olives.
weirder.
Green. I don't like black olives. I like green olives. I will eat green olives out of the bottle.
How?
I just love
They're
them.
both the
I don't-
same.
No, they're not. Black olives do not taste the same as green olives.
I mean, they don't taste the same, but they're similar.
I'm
So-
waiting for
Gosh.
Bernio's, by the way, to open the lunch
Same.
buffet again. Is
I
that
will
going to happen
go-
ever?
Oh, we used to go all the time.
It was
Yeah.
$5 when I was in high
That
school.
place is awesome.
$5.
How did you go to Bernio's when you were in high school?
Woodshop class.
I used to when I was in high school. Whitehall had an open campus, so like at lunchtime,
That's
you'd
sweet.
watch all these kids roll out and go to Taco Bell and
Yep.
go to. Well, actually, Taco Bell wasn't there. They go to McDonald's and Burger King because those are the only two. Yeah, I'm old. We couldn't. All we could do was walk down to Wesco, and it took so long to get down to Wesco and
Was
back
it
up
worth it?
that like your whole lunch was gone by the time you got back. Now they close that down, so you can't even do that. I'm like,
No,
So
I'm just kidding.
Did you ever eat lunch at school? Like when you
Yeah,
ate lunch at school, what was your go-to?
Oh, yeah.
pizza and salad.
What a good conversation.
Pizza and salad. The
How
little-
about remember no bake cookies? You ever get those too?
Yeah.
I don't like no bacon.
You don't like no
chili
No.
Crispitos. Bang.
Yeah,
A lot of people like them. I didn't like
yeah.
them.
I like chili Crispitos.
I remember that there's that certain
Mini
kind
corn
of school
dogs.
pizza though.
Yeah, it was like worse than Jack's pizza. Like
So we used to like
But there
we'd
was
eat
something
our
good
meal,
about
it was. There's so,
and then we'd take our tray and go get a full tray of salad.
see, but I think you like you're young enough that like school food started to come around. Like they had a lot of when I
There
was in
was-
school,
no.
there was pizza served every single day.
Same with us. Pizza and chicken nuggets, and there's something else that was served
Yeah.
every day.
Every day.
The McRib. I had the McRib. It was
In
like
high
that-
school?
It was that style. It wasn't.
Oh
it was
yeah,
that-
yeah.
that,
No,
like,
they did ribs.
God, I've
that
got some
fake
friends that
rib.
swear by that, including I shouldn't call him a friend because it's a conflict of interest. Plus, I don't know if he's a friend. Brian Beebe.
Brian's my friend, so we can say.
Okay, no, he's a friend, I guess. So he and a couple other were friends. One in particular just swear by the McRib. I'm gonna get criticized big time by these guys. They're gonna hate me for saying it, but I think it's trash.
I don't think it's trash. I'm mad at you, kind of. I don't think it's trash. I don't think it's like the best thing that's.
As long as you know what you're eating, right?
It's
It's,
like
not
bad
real.
meal.
It's not
that they
right.
call a rib. They like took
Yeah.
mom's old bad
Sure.
meatloaf and they formed it into a rib, and then they're like, "Here, have ribs."
sauce is pretty good. It's
It's
pretty good.
bad. It's bad.
It's not bad.
But it's not so bad that you will never eat it again. But it's bad enough to where they only have it out for 2 months because you'll forget about it by the time it comes back out next
That's
year.
possibly true, Billy.
Is the
Billy
McRib
is a
out right
bit
now?
of a food snob, though. I just need to let all of our listeners know Billy is a food snob. Like and it's a weird combination of food snob, like the kind that'll eat at Taco Bell, but like you go to a restaurant and he's like, "Oh, this was just okay." It was like the best meal you ever had.
This is
Like,
true.
Yeah, it's
Like,
true.
Like we went to Dr. Ralph's and him and Bob were like, "Oh, it was just okay." Everybody else is like, "These Burnett, this was awesome." They're like, "Oh, they didn't have enough sauces." And the next day he's eating a
That's not.
cheesy gordita crunch at Taco Bell, and you're
that's
like,
true.
I mean,
your
that's not.
palate was so sensitive that you didn't like Dr. Ralph's, but you'll put
is
slime
true.
cheese on your tongue and love it.
That's not fair to. I mean, yes, I like to eat garbage food like anybody else, but you have to know that me and Bob both barbecue ourselves. So I mean, there's a little difference.
I'm
you're
not
like
even
that
gonna
with
go
other
down
things, though. It's
Yeah,
not
you
just
are.
barbecue stuff.
You're a weird food snob.
The
You'll be like
previously alluded friend,
Bougie food.
one of the friends that does love it, his name's Joey, and he's actually been on my butt about getting a show going, like a barbecue show or a cooking show
How
through
you doing,
CatchMark.
Scott?
I would love to do that. To try different, like, compare pizzas or something.
That would be actually a good.
Have
That'd be
those
good.
guys.
That'd be a good eats.
Well, I mean, the season finale of this season of Eats is similar to that, and it might lead into something like that in the future.
It'd be kind of fun where these guys, but these guys like to smoke meats and stuff like that, and we got a friend group, and two of them are at each other all the time. One lives in Montague, in fact, and the other one lives in Muskegon area, but they think they have the best.
We all know these friends, and he's just not naming them because we all know.
Do you know Scott Rollenhagen or not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, he's got 2 or 3 green eggs at home that he cooks with.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, and it's legit. But Joey, our other friend, he's the one that loves the McRib, so I don't understand that one. He's a great cook
He's the one
too.
that loves
See,
the
that's
McRib.
like Billy. I don't understand it.
But like,
sometimes.
to be fair, everybody thinks that they have the best of everything. Like,
Yeah,
if they're a decent cook, everyone says that, like, hey, my meatloaf is better than it's the best around.
Joey
Everybody
teases
says
Scott
that
about his meat being dry all the time. Because would you pour a gallon of water on that before serving this or not? So it's pretty funny.
That is
The
funny.
dynamic.
I've never cared about meat quite that much.
I would agree with you, Zach, except I'm hard on myself. Like, also, I'll be
Yeah,
like, man,
sure.
this brisket is awful. If I don't think it's up to like the standard, my own, I'm saying, like, yes, I've called other people's briskets horrible, but
Right,
but
exactly.
I'll also call my own brisket horrible
Sure.
too.
So speaking of horrible, I found out something about Zach today that is absolutely, it's terrifying,
It's not
horrible.
terrifying. It's normal. I'm just breaking the ice with this.
Zach absolutely loves romance movies.
I do like romance movies. I think Nicholas Sparks movies are really good, and I think that anyone that says that they're not, see, they can't even take me seriously.
If this was the World Series of Poker, he just shoved all his chips
I
in.
think that if you are unwilling to acknowledge that those movies are decent, then you are afraid of your man
this
card
is so
being
bad
revoked.
of a logic. This is the worst logical fallacy.
No, it's not.
If you don't, if you,
I'm serious.
so
Like-
where does Brazen fall on your list?
that's just a new Netflix movie. That's more of a crime thing, and it was okay. It was.
Well, that comes on IMDb's top number 1 on top 50
it's
romance.
like trending
movies.
on Netflix right now.
The Power of the Dog. Have you seen that?
No,
The King's Daughter.
also not a fan.
Licorice Pizza.
No, I don't even know what that is.
The Royal Treatment.
These are not.
They're all new ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I haven't
Yeah.
seen those.
Let me find a better list.
Yeah, Licorice Pizza is kind of like a Wes Anderson kind of like
It-
feel, like a hip movie romance.
But
Just
it's
look at
love.
look
But
at
it's love.
top like romance movies. Of
You
all
ready?
time.
Endless Love.
I don't know what that is either.
What?
I might. I'm horrible.
If
with
only
names.
A Walk to Remember.
Walk
What are
to
your
Remember's good.
top 5?
Probably
Titanic.
Titanic.
She should have moved
Bad
off the door.
apples.
She should. There was room.
Okay.
There was room. I only saw Titanic one time,
I love.
and it was on a date.
What about The Notebook?
Oh,
Notebook's
geez.
amazing.
He is like,
Yeah.
yes, he probably can quote lines. Like
Yeah.
I can quote lines from like
Top
Billy
Gun.
Madison, Billy Madison. Like it's too hot for a penguin just to be walking around.
La La Land's amazing.
Oh my gosh, Moulin Rouge, What Dreams May Come. Did you ever see that one?
51st
Are you
Dates.
actually going to the
Ghost.
theater and
I
watch
bet
these
you're a Ghost fan.
when they're out?
Safe Haven's amazing. Definitely Maybe's another really good one.
The Bodyguard. Do you like The Bodyguard?
The Bodyguard's a show on Netflix that is really good.
No, The Bodyguard
Oh, the
was
actual
Whitney
movie.
Houston and Kevin Costner. Is a romance movie.
That was a while ago.
No.
Yeah, it's too old for Zach.
Yeah, you guys are like.
It was 92.
I don't know
What
if I've seen that.
about
Hey, when you see these, are you watching these in the theater? Or you just wait until they come out, or both?
Pretty
Depends
Woman?
on
Do
the
you like Pretty
situation.
Woman?
When you
Zach?
go to the
Really?
theater, do you bring your man purse with you or not?
No, but we need to talk about how man purses should be a thing.
Do you have a man purse? Please
No,
tell me no.
no, I don't.
Why
but,
should they be
But,
a thing?
but why are they? Like, why aren't they?
It's called a satchel.
Well, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. You don't think they should be a thing? Why are they not a thing, first of all?
Why do they need to be a thing?
So you
We've
don't have
got
to
a
carry stuff in
perfectly
your
good turn
pockets.
for them and a perfectly good.
Backpack?
Yeah. What do you need a man purse? Why do we need to call it a man?
Why do we have to
purse?
call it something different than what women call it?
Women don't call a backpack a purse.
Yeah, but they have a purse that
Kara
sometimes
Kara
come
has
as a
She
backpack.
carries around. She's got a little one line.
She has like a.
backpack.
It's not a backpack.
It's a backpack.
No,
What about a
it's
fanny
not.
pack?
That's kind of what it is. It's kind of a fanny pack, but it's like a.
It's on her back. It goes over her shoulders and on her back. That's. I mean, like, how do you define a backpack if that's not a backpack? Then I don't know what a backpack is. And I don't like.
I'm just saying, I find myself with a lot of things in my pockets sometimes, and wishing
Like,
I had.
what do you hold in your pocket?
satchel purse?
All
like
I ever have in my pocket are
chapstick,
keys, wallet, phone.
Keys, like a couple different key rings, which is annoying to carry multiple around.
Okay.
Like a wallet. I carry like a slim, like just has my base cards.
If
and then I have, like, a
purses
big
are so
wallet.
great, why do I have to always carry my wife's stuff?
Because she doesn't carry a purse. You just said that.
No.
No. I'm with you on
I
this.
always, every time we go into somewhere, I gotta hold her phone. Can you put your phone in? Can my phone in your pocket? Can you put my Because one, women wear jeans that makes the pockets useless essentially. But like, if purses were so great, then why not carry them around with you? You just leave them in the car. They're just like, I don't know. Now I will say there's a generational gap. My mom's purse, legit. Like, that thing could kill somebody, and it weighed like, in there, like, anything you needed.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
you'd be like, Mom,
toothbrush.
I need a kidney. And she'd be like, hold on.
in my
And
purse.
she did, and I could never find it, but like, she would know exactly
Yeah.
where it was.
I'm
in
just
that
saying,
giant
kind of
bottle.
useful.
I guess, but I don't know that we need to call them
Fanny pack.
If you wear a fan,
They don't make them big enough.
next
To fit me.
eating ice. We talked about eating ice.
Yeah, this
man
is ridiculous.
purses.
Okay, so another thing that I'm over is winter. I'm just over it. I'm done.
Is there
Sounds
any
like a guy that
sports?
goes-
Is there any sports on this agenda,
Yeah,
Zach?
yeah, but we gotta get to this stuff
We'll get
first.
to 'em.
We're good.
Okay.
So
Let's keep going.
You're
So
over winter, says the guy who goes in the freezing cold water.
Because I
And
miss summer so much.
Wim Hofs.
Wim Hof method.
Yes.
Hey, when you were in the water, what'd you do with your fanny pack when you were in the water?
I left it in the car.
Okay.
I didn't bring anything with me to the water, Scott. Just myself.
You could have brought your phone. Is your iPhone waterproof?
Yeah.
You should just brought it in with you. Take good video.
I might drop it. It was so cold.
Legit.
It's freezing.
Yeah, no, that's why you shouldn't be in the water, you goofball.
Moving on. Winter's horrible. I'm done with winter. Does winter make you appreciate summer more?
Yes.
Don't believe that.
Have you ever lived in a warm weather state?
No.
Okay, you just disqualified yourself from this conversation.
But what about people that live in warm weather states that are like, don't really ever care to live in the
Well,
live
then
in
I'll
the
have a
winter?
conversation with them. Scott, have you ever lived in a warm weather state?
No, let's ask the guy who
Billy?
has, though. And
Billy, what do you
obviously
think?
have as
Do you like
well.
winter,
You've
Billy?
lived out of
Yeah.
state.
No, I hate winter.
Do you miss summer? Like all year round? Like warm weather?
I miss, I miss like temperate, like the same, like a nice 72, 73.
Sure.
So can I be real with you?
Yeah.
Like, if you've ever been to Florida or Georgia or Louisiana in the summertime,
It's awful.
it's absolutely
I'm not saying that.
it is absolutely the worst place in the entire world. Absolutely.
No.
Like,
Yeah, no, you're
It-
talking 80, 85 degrees
No.
with 100% humidity.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You slap your
can't
hand
go
on your
outside.
face
Been
and
there.
you can't, like, legit, like you like the worst place in the entire world. So, but I think it does make you appreciate. You can't.
No,
It's like
it does.
saying,
Probably does.
do you appreciate light? Well, yeah. Would you appreciate light if it was always light? No, it'd just be light. But you got to have the dark. You got to have the contrast to appreciate it. So I think you appreciate it more.
How about I've already experienced enough of winter? I'm good.
I can get behind that.
I don't like winter
Why?
because there's nothing to enjoy about it.
You don't think the snow's pretty?
No. Don't want to go sledding. Don't want to go ice skating. Don't want to go skiing.
I'm almost
done all those
100%.
things.
You just want to stay inside and watch Netflix, don't
I
you?
almost
I want
feel
to go
the same
outside
way
and go
you
to the
do.
lake.
Although I say I almost feel the same way you do, except I do love like the first snowfall, like December-ish, January, and when it's like all nice on the trees.
Christmas.
So what would be your perfect climate then? Like, where would be your perfect place? Because
like
when you
middle of the U.S. probably.
so like Tennessee,
Mhm.
North Carolina,
Yeah, like
it
seasons,
gets cold there.
Yeah, you still get some.
What happens
seasons.
is you get acclimatized, and so like when I lived in Georgia, like it snowed this much, everybody freaked out, everything was
Yeah, and
closed,
you're
and everybody was
freezing.
freezing,
Yeah,
right?
No,
So
I
like
know.
I like, yeah, it's pain. Walking through the snow sometimes is a pain, but like I don't know, I don't mind it
You
at
should
all.
live in San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego's nice.
It's
Yeah,
like
that's like-
72
You can afford the
years
coast,
round.
the whole West
that's,
Coast. Like
That's
that.
about perfect for me.
Yeah.
Little
if you ask me.
breeze. I do like the seasons, though. I don't want to.
I agree with you too. As I've gotten older, become a fan of the beach too.
What's your
I love
favorite
going to the
season?
beach.
Summer,
Yeah. What about you, Scott?
I'd say fall.
Fall. Me too.
but I do
Early fall.
like. I
Early
do
fall.
like.
That transition between summer and fall.
when it's
I
like
like them all though.
when it's like
That's a-
70 degrees in the daytime, you can wear shorts. At night, you gotta have.
I like where
a-
you
Yeah,
can still go to the
yep,
beach
I
a
like
little
that.
bit, but you can go out and golf,
Yep.
and it's still, but it's really comfortable golfing. You're not
Yeah,
sweating.
you're
your
I
butt
think-
off on the
sweating your
golf
butt off.
course.
If I couldn't swim, I don't think I'd like summer as much.
You really like swimming.
I really like the water. Yeah,
Want to buy
it's
a
another
boat?
awakening experience.
Want to buy a boat?
Maybe,
Yes.
maybe depends on. Might need a bonus or something.
There it is.
Okay, we got to talk about sports a little bit. So I was watching TikTok last night.
Oh
and,
no.
And this video comes up, and I don't even know what podcast it was, but it was super intriguing. It's Draymond Green, who
Yeah.
plays for the Warriors, and an NBA player, and Tom Brady, the GOAT, Tom Brady. And the caption of the TikTok is Tom Brady says the NBA is not easy, or it's easy. Like, it's easy to play. It's not as difficult. It's crazy to hear him say it, to be honest with you. And
What was
you can-
his reasoning?
So he talks a little bit about how in the NBA there's not a lot of contact. They play in a nice climate all the time. They get to wear comfortable shoes, and it's just like happy-go-lucky to him. And he's literally saying these things, and you can see that Draymond's getting irritated as he's
Wow,
talking.
Draymond's funny too.
He is funny. They're both kind of funny, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think Tom might have been exaggerating a little bit.
Tom was a decent athlete in school. Like he played basketball.
Yeah,
I
right,
believe, in
right.
high school.
Exactly. And you kind of, I mean, like, it's interesting to hear that from these guys because they are professional athletes. Like, they
Right.
know, I mean, it's a ton of work they
What did
put in.
Draymond say?
So Draymond says that he, like, laughs, and he's like, it must be nice to take a break every few seconds. Like, they just play, it's one play at a time.
Right.
You know? And Draymond's like, we don't stop, like, the whole game. We also play 80 games, whatever, 86 or whatever it is. In a season, you guys play 16, plus with playoff kind of thing. So they play a fraction of the games, and I was reading through the comments, and it was just mind-blowing at how many people were divided. Football is way more difficult. Like, it's way harder on your body. Are you serious? Basketball is by far the hardest sport. You don't even have to be in shape to play football. And then people are exaggerating one way or the other, but it was super interesting. And it reminded me of a conversation we had last week about what sport is the most difficult. So I guess I want to look at this from a pro sports perspective and from a more local high school.
I for me, I think it's all about perspective, like in how, like, the rating criteria, what's difficult, right? Like, so basketball cardiovascular wise and just running and endurance wise, I think you got to be in way better shape in a sense, depending on the position. But I think if you ever watch a kid transition from football in the fall and come into basketball practice, they're
Completely
they're
different.
they're always slow.
They are different.
They're always out of shape. It always takes them a good 3, 4, 5 weeks to get into basketball shape, because you can be a little heavier in football. It's actually a benefit to you. You got to be physically stronger, but you, like, from a pure get up and down the court, I think it's so, like, what's more difficult, right? Like, I would say football is rougher.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're physically going to get beat up. You're going to have, I remember watching the guys come off the practice field in football, and, like, they got bruises all over them and their arms and, like, legs, and, like, you're going to get beat up a little bit in basketball. You get some floor burns. You might, like, once in a while take an elbow, but, like, on a day-to-day grind, that's why football can only play once a week, right?
Right.
Like, so I think it's all about perspective.
It definitely is.
Well, you look at different sports too, like, you having a baseball background as well as I
Sure.
do. I mean, and obviously never played at the professional level, but think about the guys who have to hit, like, first off, recognize what kind of pitch it is. 96 miles an hour recognize the spin of the ball and put a round spherical thing on the ball and make contact with it. You know, think about how hard it is. And then if you switch to golf, think about how hard that sport is.
Yeah, I mean, but like I think that's where perspective goes in. It's not how difficult the sport is to execute; it's how difficult it is to endure. And I think where that was going. And I would say baseball and golf are a perfect example. It's not that hard to endure physically.
Right.
Mental endurance and golf is probably one of the hardest things in the entire world. Like if you've ever played golf, like it's a grind to get through 18 holes sometimes, like especially when you're not hitting the ball well and just mentally staying focused that whole amount of time.
I totally agree.
Baseball, I would say the same thing. Like when you're at the plate, it's you got to pay attention and you got to be focused. You got to pick up quick. But physically, anybody could probably play those two well into their, at a high level, well into their 30s, 40s, sometimes even 50s, right? Like look at Phil Mickelson still going at it, winning tournaments at his age. I think Tiger would be still too if he hadn't gotten his wreck. Like baseball. I mean, how old was Nolan Ryan when he retired?
No, 42.
42.
40
I don't think you last that long. Now Brady's done it in football, but he's definitely an outlier, right?
Yeah, well, I also think that quarterback's a little bit different.
A little bit different, right? You're not going to be a running back and last till 42 in the NFL.
Right.
You're not going to probably be a wideout and last that long either. So I think it's perspective.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. I think that's totally accurate. I found it like absolutely insane that Brady's telling Draymond that, like, it's nice that you get to play in the same climate with cushion shoes
Well, and that does make sense, right? Like climate sucks, and it makes the game like playing in Lambeau in January is not fun, right?
But
like,
most of those guys understand that it's perspective, right?
But it is only once a week too, so like,
yeah, right. I don't know.
Is it once a week though? Because it's like a job. You got to go and train. You got to watch. I mean,
yeah, but they're not.
Yeah, but they're not playing hard every day. In an NBA week, you might have 3 legit competitions that are games
at least.
Like so. And again, I've watched guys make that transition from football to basketball. Like there's, they always come in and they have a hard time at first, and getting their legs back. Even the good athletes, right? Yep. It's just a different kind of shape, Indoor soccer is the most demanding sport I've ever played. It's rough. It's like cardiovascular wise, there is absolutely nowhere.
There's just no doubt.
There's nowhere to hide on the field.
And what do you think, Billy? We live stream the Risers. What do you see out there? Does that look pretty tough? What they're doing?
Yeah, I mean it doesn't stop the whole game. I mean there's some timeouts and stuff.
The field's so
small. It's a tiny field, and they're running into each other, and they don't have very many pads on. Like
there's no pads.
Yeah, like
shin guards. Yeah.
But I mean they're plowing into each other. And
so like in indoor, I remember when I first started playing, if you got 2 minutes, if you could go 2 straight minutes, as hard as you should, you're done. Yeah. You're coming off, and you got to have a sub. I've never played a sport like that. Like basketball, there's always a spot where you can relax and you can maybe catch your breath, and like now there's periods in a basketball game where the pace picks up and that was definitely one of the hardest. But again, football, man, those guys take a beating.
Yeah,
they really do. I mean, it is the closest sport to probably, other than rugby, to probably war.
Yeah.
I mean, like you're just pounding on each other.
I never wrestled, but
wrestling too. Yeah,
I remember wrestling around with a cousin who was older than me, but he was really compact. And just being on the mat, really, we were on the living room floor on the carpet.
No, that's a very good point.
Going 10 seconds felt like it was 3 minutes.
Yes.
It really did.
No, you're absolutely right. Like you're full
body. So I give
body.
those guys. I've never wrestled. I give those guys a lot of credit, though. The guys that do.
Yeah,
they're studs. Because I don't.
No, absolutely.
I mean,
by the way, I've shown like 15 people Ira's video.
Yeah,
at Shores where he's dragging the guy like a grizzly bear back onto the mat, and I'm like, I can't believe Jesse wanted to get in the.
Yeah,
like, whatever.
Wheezy's got something wrong.
Wheezy's got something wrong with him.
I'm going to use this platform too, because BB is trying to push us to do this series, the AD versus the athlete. And he wants to do this, he wants to do that, but he won't wrestle Ira. I go, well, I think we should.
He's got.
That's got to be part of this. BB needs to be in a singlet. I want to start a petition right now.
In the onesie, right?
Yeah, well, he calls it a onesie. Billy calls it a onesie.
Billy,
onesie.
Disrespectful.
That is a little disrespectful.
I want BB on the mat in Whitehall High School Let's get this petition going. Let's get
I don't
this
want a
movement
singlet.
going.
I want BB dressed as the Ultimate Warrior.
Who's gonna
That's what I. That's what I want.
Who's gonna pay the ambulance bill?
Are they in the same weight class?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think Ira's composition, no offense, Brian, is a little different than
That is. I mean, it's crazy that
I just go dead fish. I'd just be like,
Yeah, right. Well, I mean,
I hope he
like-
doesn't break anything.
Well, like a lot of the kids at Irish wrestling, I mean, what do you do?
Oh,
If you-
it's like
when
a
you know
boa
you're going
constrictor
in,
guy.
dude, I'm laying on my back.
Yeah.
You're just trying to end it as soon as
You're
possible.
just like
Yeah, 100%.
roll over. No competitive fire. No.
Because if you fight it,
If
if
you
does it
fight-
make it worse?
It's like
Yeah.
being what do you do when a grizzly bear gets you? You
Nothing.
play dead.
Play dead.
You
Seriously,
do
it
nothing.
works.
You act like he's got you. You
It-
got me. I
Theoretically,
submit.
if you're laying on your back and somebody, pin, right?
Zachary.
So
I'm smarter than
anyway,
these-
how can we make this happen with BB?
We
versus
can't
Ira?
make it happen. You're trying to
This
put
guy
pressure
gets-
on him through our
He might
media.
get too much airtime as it is. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
There's no.
But
way
I'd
he's
be down to
wrestling
go
chickens.
watch. I'd pay a ticket.
Me
to
too.
see
I
that.
would too. $5 at least.
We should put it on like we should
stream
we
that,
should put
yeah.
a wrestling mat at Helmet at the Playhouse and like sell tickets and
We
bring them all
should.
in and like get the lights on them. We could
Let's do
announce them. I'm sure. Billy, can I hear your
Let's
wrestling
do it.
voice?
Do your Michael Buffer voice.
Yeah, let me hear it.
Michael Buffer.
What, like, you want
And
my, like,
now,
oh, yeah.
In this corner.
In this corner.
There we go.
That's
Told
right.
you. He has it.
That's it.
So, speaking of Brady and football,
Yep.
is it weird to not have him in the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah. I think
Also,
it
is that guy retiring? What's the deal
he
there?
is. He is retired. I heard. Well, he's floating the retirement. What I read was that he didn't want to take away from the postseason from everybody else. So he hadn't officially announced that he didn't want to have a press conference. But Billy hates Brady.
I know
He
I know.
cannot get
He's
over
got-
it. He's over there. He's twitching. He
He's
looks
just
like
mad
me
'cause-
with candy hearts on the table that he can't touch.
That's
Like,
true.
Well, you made him sound so noble in his.
He is.
That's what they wrote, Billy. I'm just.
He didn't want to announce because he needed $15 million for his bonus if he retired early. Also, he wants to be the one to say it, not Ian Rappaport. He wants to be the one.
Can
to
I
go.
ask you something? Like when you get to that state, though, what's another $15 million?
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
doesn't.
It'd be like if I said, Billy, I got $1 if you don't retire right now. You'd be like, I'm gonna retire when I want. I don't care about $1.
I say that as a joke. It really doesn't matter. The money doesn't matter.
You might have
It's
been
the-
joking on what you said, but your body language said
He's
told a different
salty.
story.
so
You
what
were
if he
salty.
retired as a Miami Dolphin?
I-
you still hate him?
He
People
would-
say this to me all the time. What if he is a great quarterback? He is the greatest of all time right now. I spent 20 years not liking him. Right? It's hard to. I wouldn't like him if he came to the Dolphins. I wouldn't all of a sudden be like, "All right, we got Tom Brady."
No, I think you would.
You would. You'd be like, we're winning
You'd be
the
like,
Super Bowl this
we're
year.
like, we got a shot.
You would be full bore Brady jersey on the very next day.
Dude, well, hey, I don't. I don't.
You
I
wouldn't
don't-
wear. So you're stating right now you would not wear a Dolphins jersey with Brady's number on it. TB12.
No, I mean,
No.
I wouldn't wear a Dolphins jersey with Brady written on
If
the
he
back.
played for the Dolphins, you
But
wouldn't
I don't wear.
Your
players'
answer, you're
jerseys.
you're
You don't wear
dodging.
player jersey, another man's name on your back.
I don't wear players. All my jerseys, they have "man" written on the back, but
So he does have a man on the back of his jersey.
All right,
You guys are losing
I'm
it.
gonna let this pass. but-
Unbelievable. Let's talk about some NFL games, though. Speaking of Brady, I'm shocked that Mahomes and the Chiefs didn't win. It was a heck of a game.
Who do you
Burrow
like?
just got a little edge. I think it's hard not. I mean, that's a toss up for me. I wouldn't care one way or the other because
I think the Rams got their ticket punched. Personally,
they
I think the
definitely do.
Chiefs. NFL, anybody can win on any given Sunday, right? Like we
Yeah.
people have talked about that for years, but
for
like
sure.
I think I think the
I get it.
Bengals punched above their weight and they ended up taking down a giant. I think the Rams definitely got the better end of that deal. No, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but I
No,
feel
I
like
think I got the Rams in the bowl, in the Super Bowl.
yeah.
So
What do you
what,
But I wouldn't be mad if Burrow won. Like I think.
what are
Burrow
your
won.
thoughts on Stafford and Lions fans going crazy? I was a friend of the show, the podcast that we had on last week, Josh Van Dyke. We were texting last night, and he just asked what I thought about Stafford and all that stuff. I said, hey, I'm happy for him. You know, he took a beating in Detroit. I think he got a bad rap. I think people they used him, you know, as a scapegoat in ways. I thought he was tough. You know, was he perfect? No. But he's like, well, he goes, the thing that annoys me is the fact that Lions fans act like they're in the Super Bowl when it's just Stafford that's
all you got.
going to the Super Bowl. I go, well,
that's all you got.
That's all they had.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it's like a dad. It's like a dad cheering for their son and acting like they won a state championship when their kid does. I mean, I that's what I liken it to, right? Like it's the same thing. But like, yeah, I mean, good dude, did a lot for the city of Detroit. You know, honestly, like, I'm happy to see him do it. Like, I'm, you know, it'd be like if somebody here got an opportunity that was just amazing, right? Like Zach, ESPN calls and wants Zach to host his own show. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to cheer against him. Like Zach, I'm all for him. I'm Team Zach, right? I'm Team Scott. Mm-hmm. I'm like Team Billy, right? Like, so I think it's good. My question is, if Stafford wins a Super Bowl, maybe wins another one, or has some more success at the Rams, he's gonna have, by his numbers, he's gonna be in that Hall of Fame talk. How in the world have the Detroit Lions had arguably the best running back, arguably the best wideout, Megatron, right? Like, I know there's others that would say Jerry Rice, or they might say Randy Moss or somebody, you know, like, but he's there, right? Like, in a quarterback the caliber of Stafford, and we don't have a stinking playoff win to like, we couldn't, like,
easy.
Yeah.
I think the answer is easy. I think it's leadership. I think it's culture.
Yeah.
We talk about those things all the time here.
We do.
And that's really what it is. I mean, look at the Bengals. They won 2 games. Was it 2 years ago, 2 games?
Yeah.
They turned it around. They made some changes. They did what they had to do.
Yeah.
I think that their story is cool.
Yeah, it is. I don't care who wins.
Neither do I. I'd be okay with either. But I'm also not like super like rooting for the Rams because Stafford. I mean, I don't care that much. It'd be cool to see Stafford win, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not all hyped up about it.
I think I'm pulling for him more than the Bengals personally, but. So, well, you got Sunday night with a question mark. Is that Super Bowl?
Yeah,
on Sunday night?
I guess we touched on this last time, the time before, but
it's stupid.
It's so annoying. I just can't get over how they schedule that. It's so late, and it's on a.
Do you think they've fallen into it being Super Bowl Sunday and like the whole branding around Super Bowl Sunday? And
I also think that everything else is on Sunday, like, you know, the college national championships and the NCAA March Madness championship. All that stuff's on
Monday
either
night,
Sunday
usually.
or Monday night. Like, it's on a night where
or Tuesday night.
Yeah, you're dragging the next day if you stay up and watch it.
And it's, I think they've just kind of accepted that's the way that it goes. I also think that I've thought about this a little bit. I think that it's a good opportunity to make sure that people don't have plans other than that. Like, if we did it on a Friday or a Saturday, or
somebody might be going to, it might be a basketball game,
wedding, or I mean, it could be anything, right? But that's kind of, I've thought about it that
captive
way
audience.
Yeah, because you could have. Yeah, no, I think that's right. I think you're right. I think that's probably, that makes the most sense to me, actually.
It's just like it's just crazy.
Yeah,
drives me nuts. Even it could be on a Saturday night. I mean, everybody knows what it is, right? I don't know. It's stupid.
Are you gonna watch it?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually like the commercials too. I mean, I'm not like, you know.
Billy and I were talking about how'd that come up
They're
again,
cool.
Billy, with everyone going crazy on Twitter last year, remember? And I said because it looked like the Performing Act had jock straps on their faces.
Oh, the weekend? Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this year's halftime show.
Do we have a CatchMark ad planned during the Super Bowl or no?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's only
We're
$500,000,
working
right?
That's
I think it's
crazy.
more than that.
For like
It's way more
10
than that.
seconds.
It's way more than that.
Yeah.
It's like $3
We just have a blip
million
of Billy's
for
face.
30
A million,
seconds.
maybe.
Cost us $1,000 or $100,000.
Yeah.
It's Billy's face.
I think it's funny how crypto's sponsoring all kinds of NFL stuff now, though.
Who?
Crypto.
Yeah, they needs to get more because my Coinbase wallet is looking a little.
No
Well,
kidding.
the Staples Center isn't even the Staples Center out in
It's
LA.
the crypto center.
Crypto.com.
I watched a
Crypto
guy.
boy.
I watched a guy that takes you around like luxury Ennis. I don't know if you ever watch Ennis.
Yeah, he's sweet. Luxury houses.
He
and
had
all
an
kinds of stuff.
apartment in LA that looked down on the Staples Center, and he was laughing because they basically all the letters were gone. And he's like, "That's the crypto center now," and they're changing it out. It was kind of funny. The apartment was legit, dude. It was like,
And this is stuff is insane. I can't remember what his YouTube channel is called, but it's literally like some of the coolest homes and
does it ever make you sick though? Like you walk
It
into some of
bugs
these
me.
places and you're
It
like,
bugs me.
I can't help but look at like, man, okay, it's cool that you brought granite from the Vatican that's 5,000 years old that cost $900 million to put on your wall. But boy, you could have helped a lot of people with that $900 million.
Yeah.
And just had something really nice on the wall, like I don't. Some of that stuff just gets in, like
It's way over
yeah,
the top.
you get in these buildings and they're like what would you ever use this for?
No,
like
I know.
it's just a waste,
I know.
I don't know.
I think, yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's like a car
occasionally I
crash.
feel-
You're equally fascinated by
Right.
it, and then like you're like some of the stuff is like really cool, but then I'm equally like, kind
But
of.
not all of them are like. Some of them are more justified than others. None of them are justified, but they're all. Some of them are a lot more reasonable. I watched this one the other day where there was like just a 4-story. It looked like an office building, but it was like a home also.
Yeah,
And I mean, it has like 11 bedrooms. It's just like ridiculous. And I just think how unnecessary is 4 levels of living space that when there's like just a few
half
people.
of the bedrooms don't ever get lived. Like
Yeah.
nobody's even been in them.
Yeah, but some of
you
the
know.
cool. There's a lot of cool tech in a lot of those houses.
Yeah, the tech stuff always intrigues me.
I like that stuff
I think
too.
it's cool. The views, I mean,
Yeah.
they're always beautiful too.
For
so.
sure, for sure, for sure.
Speaking of the view, we got a view of some greatness the other night.
That's
I
right.
dare say.
That's right. Brent and I decided to go to the Hart Shelby basketball game, and I can't tell you the last time I had that much fun watching a basketball game.
It was pretty cool. It was 2 great teams, boy.
It really was. It was 2 great teams, and on top of that, it's a huge rivalry. Like,
Oh yeah,
and both teams have been more successful recently than they've been in the last few years. Like the crowd was the best I've seen this year. Some of it
yeah.
has to do with the size of the gym.
Hart's
it
gym
was
is like
awesome.
we were talking about. It is like, that when like Scott and I were in school, all the gyms were small. I mean, they're like there was the biggest gym in the conference was Shelby's old gym.
Yep,
And like
that still might be the biggest gym in the conference.
yeah, well, no, Shelby's new gym and Whitehall's gym.
Or
are
Shelby's new
huge.
gym.
Shelby's
I'm
new gym is
sorry.
the biggest in the conference. But like you come back around 20, 30 years later and all these schools have these giant facilities now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like and you go to a Shelby game, you go to a Whitehall game, half the time the bleachers aren't even pulled all the way out. Like they're not even using them.
Right.
Hart's gym is like the perfect size. Like
Yeah,
it's
it
bigger
is.
than Montague. It's bigger than North Muskegon. You still get a kind of a small gym atmosphere, but like it just was a good size. Like it's loud, it filled up, but it wasn't too
It was
crowded.
sweet, man.
The
It
band
really
was really obnoxiously loud, but like, you expect that. Like
Yep.
Zach and I were trying to talk and Zach's like, those drummers are getting it.
They
Like
can't- you can't
you
hear anything,
appreciate
dude.
it, but it's like,
Yeah,
holy moly.
It was so loud.
Yeah.
Anyway, this Joseph Hayes kid from Shelby, man. I mean, not only is this kid a nice person, but what a talented basketball player. He is the most quiet scorer I've seen in
For
quite
sure.
a while.
Yeah.
He's just he doesn't look selfish. He's not. He distributes the ball well, but this guy just scores the points, man. 40 points in a game is nuts. Maybe someone, one of the listeners or something can help us out here. I don't know of the last time someone scored 40 points in a basketball game. I know Brandon Moore had a lot of really good games. I remember Jaron Edsel scoring a lot of 20, 30 point games for Whitehall. And those guys both have 1,000 points, but I don't remember anybody. I can't remember the last time somebody scored 40 points.
Yeah. Well, especially
Not in the West Michigan Conference.
I've been to a bunch of varsity basketball games where the team didn't score 40 points.
No, right?
Like recently.
Absolutely.
So like or right around there. So
Yep.
the funny part was that at halftime, Zach like bumped me and he's like, I think Hayes has 24.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, legit. And I'm like, no way. Like I know, like it was just this
just don't
weird
believe it,
workman like 24 that he had at half, and you're like, you just like he just did all the nothing flashy, nothing crazy. You got to give Shelby's coaching staff credit. They got it like in their team on top of that, like got him the ball in the right spots, and Joe hit him. Like
Yep.
he just made all the shots that he needed to make, and. They were banging only 2 threes. That's that's the crazier part
Yeah,
to me.
it's not
is
like,
like
this guy's just launching. I
Yeah.
mean, that's not what it was,
yeah, I mean like
Putbacks,
Isn't that you
rebounds.
talk about efficiency and everything?
Yeah.
Isn't
Oh.
that a hallmark though of what Zulik does too?
yeah,
it
Rick is good at that.
Just
like
you take kids who are just extremely efficient, just
And he
not a
puts
lot
them
of
in the
waste
right
in movement.
spots.
They get out of
Yep.
their dudes what they can get out
Yep.
of them.
and then it wouldn't be fair to not mention Hovey.
No.
Like Parker Hovey, like he's going to be something to be reckoned with next year. I mean, he legit, like I could see him getting 40 next year.
Yep.
battling Hart back. I mean, Shelby had him. I mean, Shelby was up by like 16 or something at some point, one point, 15, 16. And everything runs through that kid. And the funny thing is he had 24, which is a great game. Like, we'd probably be talking about his 24 if it wasn't the fact that Hayes threw in 40, right? Like, but Javi just passes well, too.
Yeah, he is a really good
that
passer.
Hart team's got a bunch of shooters, and they just move the ball. And he finds the open guys. He draws the defense and then finds them. And he's ball heavy, man. Like, he has the ball in his hands a lot. And
Yeah,
it's
he does.
6'4", 6'5", like, handles the ball well, shoots the ball well, passes well. A really good player.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
they
Hart,
really are.
they're what's wild is they're 2-5 in the league.
I know.
Yeah.
The
That's
league's
not a
tough
bad
this
team.
year.
And I was talking to Adam
Not bad
after
at
the
all.
game, their coach there, and he's just like, what do you do? Like
Yeah.
they've given a lot of good teams good games.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where kind of goes either way, and shots don't fall when they need to, so on and so forth. But I really think that he should be proud of.
Oh, yeah.
The most proud you could be of a 2-5 record.
Now,
like it's
their district draw was not like I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't seen
Scott.
that yet.
It's
Oh
crazy.
my gosh, dude!
Hart's
Let's
is.
yes. So
Western
Hart,
Michigan
Shelby,
Christian.
West Michigan Christian.
Yep.
And by the way, West Michigan Christian has Owen
Verna-
Bernardo back.
He's back. I know.
He's
like,
back now.
it's
a
gonna
different
be
team
one
now
heck
than
of a-
Oh yeah,
people saw
like
earlier.
Vernado to me is
He's one of the top.
he's
if
one of the
not.
top players in West
One of-
Michigan. Like,
clearly.
yeah, absolutely.
Hart,
Like,
Hesperia, Holton, Western Michigan Christian, North Muskegon, Shelby.
And Ravenna's not in that district, which is weird. They're
No.
going
I
well,
somewhere
know.
else.
North Muskegon's a great team. Holton's not bad. I'm
No,
gonna tell you
Holton
that.
will be okay.
Like
Holden's solid.
Yeah, you've
West
said.
Michigan Christian's good. I mean that district is like talk about like unbalanced.
What
Like,
about what a great week too? This week we wrote about it Saturday off Mason County's game, Mason County Whitehall's game Friday. Whitehall this week they're at Ravenna tomorrow. Ravenna's 6-1 in the league. You got Whitehall, Shelby, North Muskegon all 5-2.
Yep.
Whitehall's at Ravenna tomorrow. Then they're at North Muskegon
I know it's a tough week for them.
on Friday, which obviously by the time this pod comes out, people are going to know. But that'll be our game of the week, the
Yep.
Whitehall North Muskegon game,
Who's
which
who's
should
the
be a little
freshman
drama.
They got 12 for Whitehall.
What?
Who's the freshman they got
Uh,
12?
Kohler.
Yeah, crazy.
Kohler?
Yeah, Cal Kohler.
Cal Kohler.
I got to ask Christian why he hasn't been up all year.
So, from my understanding, I did ask him in the interview.
Yeah, what'd he say?
So, from my understanding, Fogus got hurt last week. Ankle
Yeah.
injury. Sounds like he's going to be back soon.
Which I thought that was a lot.
So they're
sooner
going to
than-
push him
So-
back
yeah.
down, or is he
So
going to
did I.
stay up?
No, I think now
He's
gonna
earned his
stay
spot?
up.
Yeah.
but-
Well, if you look at their lead, I wrote that story for Saturday. You look at their three leading scorers. It was Cam who had a
Yeah,
monster
Cam's-
first quarter, 18
it was
points.
insane. It was actually insane.
So it was Cam, who's a freshman,
Yeah.
Cal, who's a freshman, and Stratton, who's a sophomore. Those are their top three scorers in that game Friday.
Yep. Yeah, they're young, man.
So how tall is this Cal kid? He's like 6'4", right?
He's definitely on the taller.
That helps
taller
them
end.
because if
6'2".
6'2", oh, so he's not
6'3".
quite that big.
No, not as
Yeah.
tall as Fogus. No,
Yeah,
but he's a big boy.
that's even better though. Freshman at 6'2", like
But he just didn't. I think
he played within himself.
Yeah,
yeah.
he just didn't. He wasn't launching. He just got rebound, got a few boards, put backs. He's
Seems
good.
like Kyle's been coming along too. Like, from the beginning of the season, kind of finding himself a little bit. He had a great game against Montague, and like,
for sure.
That Ravenna game tomorrow will be interesting just because Ravenna beat him by 25 the first time, but that was without Camden. That was early in the season. I think Ravenna's pretty
it's a
good
different
too.
team. Yeah,
But
Ravenna's
this is
pretty
a
good.
different Whitehall team.
Yeah, Ravenna though, like, I mean, I think I said it in the beginning of the year. I think Whitehall can beat anybody. They can also lose to anybody. It's a little bit like Montague right
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
Like, I think Montague can beat anybody, right? Like Montague.
Well, Montague's got Oak Ridge tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's that gonna?
I mean, they
You know?
waxed them the first part of the year, but like, I don't know. Like, you go to Hart, you lose to Hart by, like, again, Montague's very similar to Hart. Like,
Yeah.
Montague's got Mason County Central at home Friday, but
I
Mason
wouldn't
County Central lost to Ravenna barely at Ravenna, and they lost to North Muskegon in overtime by 2.
yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, and
Conference
they're in
is
last place.
tough.
They haven't won a game yet.
Yeah, the conference is tough. They had Montague at half. I mean, like they
Mason County's not. I tell you who I was impressed with. Obviously, Shy's a good scorer, but the Peroni kid's pretty solid.
yeah, they got a
you
few
know,
kids.
aggressive and
I think they're a team that can get you. We've talked about this a little bit. I wouldn't say they have a tremendous amount of traditionally good basketball players, but they're athletic kids and they play hard and they scrap. And those kind of teams, effort and attitude, like they'll come and get you sometimes.
They're going to
And
knock
you're-
somebody
you're-
off.
Yeah,
One of
yeah.
the top teams.
Yep. I
So,
totally agree.
There's a lot of parity in the league. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
It's gonna be an
So,
interesting
Yeah.
to see how it all plays out.
So you got a list of player names on
Just
the board.
just midway through. I mean, we're just over midway through the season now, and we've talked a little bit about this off camera, obviously. But who are the league, the top kids in the league, and it's just so difficult to pick like 3.
Well, I think Hayes separated himself. I mean, he because the game before he had 40, I think he was close to 30.
No, he did.
Yeah,
He's been solid.
The funny thing with Hayes is we talk about the eyeball test too. Like he's just not flashy. He just does. But I think you got to go Hayes. I would say for me, and maybe it's just because I've seen him play more.
Mm-hmm.
I think number 2 has got to be right there is Hovey.
Yep.
Like I he just does a lot of things on the court.
I agree.
From there on, man,
Gosh, it's tough.
There is
isn't
a lot of them, and I don't think those are like. I don't think that's like a 10-shot lead by Hayes and Hovey. I think I think if you look at it as like a golf tournament, they're a tight 2-shot lead at the Masters. Yeah, in the clubhouse, and they're like Beebe, Thompson, McManus. Josa's having a great season. Nobody talks about him, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
That's
like
another one.
Really solid season.
That's another one. Tate Stein's been good.
Stein,
Will Shy, whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
I mean, the kid's he scores.
He
man.
scores. He's a good player. I would say eyeball test for me with Shy is he's a good athlete and he gets his.
Mm-hmm.
Tate's like not putting up massive numbers, but
Same deal though.
But like you don't watch a Montague game where if he plays well, he's got a huge impact.
Oh, and by the way, I got to throw this plug in there. He does great announcing these games. He's been calling play-by-play. Him and Connor
have been doing a great job.
He and Connor are doing great.
Really
We're
are.
hearing it.
Yeah.
And on the Facebook pages, and
Yep.
you just listen to them. You might think, they're a couple high school kids. They're going to be these total homers for Montague. They really aren't. They're truly professional.
No, they've gotten
They do a great job.
They really
some
do.
hot water with not being homers actually. So.
Yeah, well.
So the funny thing is that Connor came to me last night and he said, "Hey, Tate and I think we need a camera on us for the game." So they want Billy, just be ready for that request.
You know what the funny part is I suggested doing that and they said they didn't want it.
At first, I think you got them thinking, and now they're like, I'm like, oh, you want to? Yeah, we feel like people would like to see us. That was kind of his
That's what
comment.
he
I'm
said.
like,
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, like we
fair.
can probably
That'd be
put
cool.
you in the corner
That'd be
and
cool,
like
actually, they're going to do the Whitehall Montague girls game this Thursday.
that'll be
for
good.
us.
They were actually, he was talking about it. They're really excited. So
Yeah.
it's good.
I love that. Yeah,
They're part of a regular rotation now.
Yeah, it's good to see them.
Yeah.
They really are talented.
They
do
are
a good
good.
job.
They
They
do a great
Jim.
job.
They do a
insane.
great job.
Yeah.
They do.
Love
Yeah,
it.
it cracks me up because Cal's at all those games because his granddaughter plays, and he comes
Right.
down and he's always giving him tips before the game and like, hey, you should think about this. And he talked about keeping stats and like just keeping a pen and a paper and like, so like it's good to see like, Cal and John, like they're the old pros, right?
Yeah.
And then looking at these guys and like helping them out too. It's really awesome.
It is really cool. Definitely is.
Yeah.
But that's a little basketball recap for you.
Who do you think Ravenna's going to hold on?
Man, I see potentially 3 or 4 losses in the second half. I'm not saying it's going to happen,
Really?
but I think they could if they
So
don't show up.
they're one loss right now, right?
They-
They
if
lost
they don't
to
show up.
Shelby.
Norm Ski.
They
North
lost to North
Muskegon.
Muskegon by 15 at home.
Wow. Like, wow.
I know.
When they beat Mason County by 2, I think it was 2. They beat Hart by 2.
But one loss, the next closest,
It's
Whitehall
2.
or
It's Whitehall, North Muskegon, Shelby all at 5 and 2. They're all
5-2.
one
Oh,
game
so
back.
they're only one game back.
Yeah.
I thought there was a
So
bigger
it's a
gap.
it's a big separation week this week. I mean, I'm not sure Ravenna has Friday.
But like you said, the league, man, like you could see somebody losing like 3 games in a row.
Ravenna might
like-
go to Hart Friday. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Which they could lose that one too.
Yeah, no. That's the hard
That's
part
the
about
that's the
this,
fun
right?
about it though.
It's like it's not that we're worried about these top 3 teams. It's that we're worried about
Yeah,
teams that
Mason
aren't
County
top 3
knocking
that are-
somebody
yeah.
off. Yeah.
And I saw Ravenna once that was against Montague. I was impressed. I mean, they were.
No, they look good against Montague.
They got
did.
They got some length.
they're not. No,
They
there's
got
no
some
bad teams.
A lot of athleticism. They didn't play. Shulo didn't play. Clay Shulo didn't play that game.
Yeah,
He
that's
didn't
true.
dress. So he's another good athlete that can help him in the paint a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I mean like yeah, no. It's a crazy year. It's
It really
great
is.
basketball.
It's
Though.
fun
Like
to
I mean,
watch.
you can't go. Sometimes when you're covering games, you get to some of those games and you're just like, this is gonna be just a blowout. And like, I don't think any of the games. Like I've watched a lot of basketball this year. None of them have been
No.
like. Whitehall Montague might have been the biggest. Like, I mean, that was like a 15-pointer, right? Like
Montague
like
Oak Ridge is probably mine. It was the first
Montague
game of
blew
the,
him out,
first
blew
game
him out a
of the
little
year,
bit.
though.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, no, interesting. So
Yeah,
you got
excited.
Ravenna holds on. Is that what you're thinking?
Man,
And if not,
I
who?
could easily see it being like a 2 or 3-way tie for
Really?
the title.
What about you? Zach?
Easily.
I think I might go with Shelby.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, after Hayes scored the way that he scored last week, I'm just like, that's a concern for other teams. I think it
was
should be.
surprised at how easily Montague handled Shelby.
No.
So
Ravenna
when
beat
I
him
saw
on the road too.
Yeah, when I
after that.
saw that, I was just kind of like,
Or before that, whatever. After that,
I don't know, like I I thought they're susceptible to the size, I think, and
they
then,
are.
so I
I
don't
also
know.
think Whitehall is super dangerous. Like, I think.
I do too.
They're packed with athletes, and I don't.
well, that's their thing, athleticism. I don't think they shoot it great,
No,
but they
don't.
got enough
But
athletes where they can throw it up and go get it.
and
I think Cam coming back balances
That's-
them.
100%.
yeah.
The way he played in the first quarter, I mean, they're all putbacks, and he's up by the rim, and I mean,
He's
they
doing
just-
all the dirty work.
They're
Yeah.
dangerous,
Yeah.
dude. I think that's another dangerous team. I also think I don't know. I think it's gonna be. I think there could be a 2 or 3-way tie as well.
I do.
really do.
It's hard for me to imagine North Muskegon not being there at the end too. They're just scrappy.
I don't think a team's winning out. I'll tell you that
Right.
much.
Yeah, no, like
I
I
don't
could
think anybody's winning out.
I could and I could legitimately see 3 or 4 teams winning out. I could see Montague winning out.
Sure, yeah.
Like if Montague plays like they did against Shelby, they could win the rest of their games.
Yeah.
Like if North Muskegon plays well, I think they could win the rest of their games. If
just think
I saw
Shelby
North
executes,
Muskegon play Heights last week, and I was really impressed with McManus.
he
I
can
didn't
play,
realize
man.
that he was quite as big as he is.
Yeah,
and that he gets off the floor.
He
Yeah,
does.
like
he
does
can
jumps,
play.
too.
dude.
Him and
He's
BB
solid.
remind me a lot of each other.
Yeah.
Like,
He's really smooth.
Yeah.
And by the way, North Muskegon, I'll tell a quick story before we wrap this up. But when I was walking in the gym, there's a very tall gentleman in front of me with a mop broom. I don't know if he just got done mopping the floor or what he was doing. I go, man, that dude's tall. Who is he? He turned around, it was Drew Namick.
definition of humility right there. You come
right.
back to your alma mater and you
Yeah.
sweep
Big
the
dog.
floor.
Yep. So we're talking to him. Hopefully we get him on the
Yeah.
pod here soon.
Yeah.
He'd be a great guest for us.
Targeting next week, right? Isn't that
Yeah,
what you said?
it's whatever works for his
Whatever works
schedule.
for him.
Yeah, but we have a few people lined up. Should be interesting.
I've never met Drew Namick, believe it or not. I
mean,
wasn't
really
around. I
haven't
was
either.
out of the area when he played basketball. So
He's up pretty high on the MSU shot blocking list too.
yeah,
Big
he's
dude.
got
He'd
to
have
be North
some-
Muskegon's like all-time leading scorer, rebounder, block shots.
Yeah.
Kranitz
I mean,
is that his name?
It could be
Kranitz played for him?
Kranitz, Spencer Kranitz.
Kran-
Played. This is like in 2011. Probably played at Central.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
A pretty good scorer.
yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if he had
A lot
40
of the
high
guys
school.
that lead that list,
probably-
though,
he might have.
Kranitz up as a freshman.
Yes.
Did the Kakotis? Did any of
Lee
either of them have 40? Maybe
Lee
probably?
Kakati came close to 40 a couple times. Like
I just think breaking that, like having 40 points, is insane.
oh,
It's a different level.
I'm telling you, like there were multiple guys in the conference when I played basketball. Like,
Yeah, I
Jared
believe
Bays
you.
was there.
Yep.
Lee Kakati did it. There's just guys that could light it up, and people scored more back then.
I just right. I just wish there was a sheet that we could look at, right? That where we were
that
like,
sucks. That's one thing about high school sports. So like
the records are low,
West Michigan Conference doesn't have a record book.
Right.
Like where would you go to get the West Michigan
You
Conference
wouldn't.
record book?
There's
Yeah,
not
and to me that's maybe we'll have to work on that.
That's right. That's our homework assignment.
Yeah.
Put
All right.
something together, put a website together, or something. But
Should be sweet.
all right, you got
Does
anything else for
anyone
us?
know anyone that does the websites or not?
Not well, but
We'll tag.
sorry, Cody, it was a joke.
Yeah,
Cody definitely does. He's a wizard with that kind of stuff.
Web
so,
wizard.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything else? Anybody? Any last comments? Cool.
No.
Thank
Get
you,
out.
thank you.
Go see some games this week.
Absolutely. Going to be an exciting one. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 15 of the CatchMark SportsNet podcast, brought to you by Van Dyke Mortgage, Shepherd & Shepherd, and North Grove Brewers. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank
Have
you.
a great week.